Just doing some sharings right now. Tagging friends. All right. So I'm just clearing some energy right now before we begin this this next live video that I'm doing, talking about the astrology and the energy forecast that we have coming up for these first few weeks into June, leading up to the Sagittarius full moon on June 14th. So to just ground us into the space, I'm just going to do a little bit of the solar plexus singing bowl, since right now power, reclaiming our power and our sovereignty is, it's kind of up. I don't know if you can feel it in the energy fields. I certainly am. So, welcome into this space. Hi, Danielle. It's been a minute. How are you doing? I decided to hop online and kind of squeeze in this astrology energy forecast coming up. The kids and I, actually, and Sean, for at least half the time, we're going to be heading out to Yellowstone National Park. So full family experience. So lots of things going on, and yet the moon phases, they remain the same. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an intuitive, an evolutionary astrologer, a healer, and I'm also the parent of two magical, multi-dimensional kids who have really been teaching me everything there is to know about, I guess, the unseen world. So yeah, thank you for being here, and it's kind of been intense these past few days with the energy. There's lots of reasons for that. There's a lot happening in the astrology, and there's just a lot happening in general. There's our world situation right now, And yesterday, in fact, was our 666 portal. So June 6th, 2022 is actually a 6th year in numerology. And I know that's been very demonized by different religions and cultural traditions. But in fact, the number 666 is actually, it's very special. It's a number of balance. So it's actually, when you see that repeating number, it's asking where in your life you could use some balance. How can you show up in better balance with others in your life, but also within yourself? We both have masculine and feminine energies in us. And that is very much coming up to the forefront for healing right now. Healing within all of us. So if you are new, please, I went ahead and put a link into my YouTube channel, Chrissy Whistler. So that's where this video is going to go. And I have a whole lot more. I'm doing a nature channeling series. I do intuitive readings for the collective, some for parents and kids. So you definitely want to check that out. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, there's also a link to my website, chrissywhistler.com. And if you'd be interested in a birth chart reading and how these energies might be affecting you, I can absolutely help with that. All right, so there's a lot going on in the astrology world. So I will do my best to kind of put that into bite-sized, understandable pieces that are not going to overwhelm you with just astrology lingo, and give you some real guidance on how you might be able to ride these waves. Because when we know what's coming, it's just that much easier to move through it instead of just constantly feeling like you're tossed around on the waves, which is in our collective energy field for sure, as our world is really being forced to have change. Crumbling and breaking down is very much on the menu, and it's in the astrology as well. Oh, Melissa, it's so great to see you. How are you doing? How are you handling these energies right now? Yesterday was very intense for me. I found that I was doing a lot of deep healing, deep processing. There's a lot coming through on the feminine side, the feminine wound, which is really curious. I actually started my moon cycle much earlier than I usually do. And I was going to film this video on a day that was a little bit better time-wise for me, except it was just like, no, I don't want to be on camera. I just want to go be slow and still. And in fact, one of the reasons I'm even mentioning this is because I want to start doing my little ripples of healing around what it means to be a woman with a menstrual cycle, and how we can really shift our perspective of that and to really embrace the sacredness of it, what it actually is, rather than just an annoyance that we have to change our plans for or whatever. Melissa, you're sharing you're not in, yeah. I don't know who enjoys chaos. Especially this chaos. I would love to know, Melissa, like what you were triggered by. If you don't want to share, that's totally fine. I'm just really curious what you've been sensing in the field, what you've been feeling within yourself. I've been processing a lot of fear around abundance, money, scarcity, this deep ancestral feeling of Do I not have enough to feed my kids? Will I have a home for my children? Will be, you know, like, it's not, I mean, it is me, but it's also not me. It goes far much deeper than just my Chrissy self and my story. And I'm really feeling that in the collective very strongly yesterday. Yesterday, my anxiety was just through the roof, to the point where I was actually having a hard time, like, just breathing. I had to pause and take these conscious deep breaths instead of just holding my breath. So if anyone who's watching would love to share, like, I would love if, does that resonate with you? Is that something that's been up in your field? I really feel it when I drive down the street and there's the gas, and it's like, yeah, it's not just me that I'm feeling with this. It's, yeah, not easy. Danielle sharing, fears holding you back, opening up with your relationship. There's a lot of fear, a lot of shadows kind of really coming up right now, in the sense of what is holding you back from shining. That's definitely a theme that I've been working through. Hi, Daphne. And it's always really interesting too when you start to tie in astrology and, like, your birth chart, for example, to see how these energies are, like, really highlighting for you at this exact moment. So I'll just kind of go into it a little bit. So the astrology of what we have coming up as we leading into this Sagittarius full moon. Melissa says she's not a fighter. You like fixing and mending, loving, helping. Confrontation makes you pull away. Whew. I hear you, Melissa. I really do. Confrontation's not my jam either. It's very upsetting. The emotions, very intense, especially when you are sensitive, as I know you are. It doesn't feel good in our own bodies, what other people are feeling, and then our own reactions. And it's definitely this work of this moment of, I would kind of say in some ways, like, confrontation, maybe that's not even the right word, but it's this moment of really asking to see what is hidden in the shadows and being able to hold and stand in that ground. To be able to hold that light there and not turn away. To look in the shadows. So, and that can lead to really setting boundaries. And that boundary setting of, like, you know what, I'm not going to go there, or I'm not going to fight with you, or whatever it is. I mean, we're in such a polarized world. And to set the boundary of, like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that. That could cause a confrontation from someone who wants to get into it. Because it's a lot easier to project, to fight, than to actually sit in this discomfort, sit in this ickiness that we're gonna be in for this next year, because the moon's nodes, the south node right now is in Scorpio. This is all about what we're doing here. Like, we're looking into the ick and the muck because we have to if we really want to move forward. And people don't generally leap for joy to do this, and so they'll use projection and they'll use confrontation so they can avoid looking within their own mirror. That's very much highlighted. I would definitely say it's very highlighted these past few days in particular. And I wouldn't be surprised if it continues, because right now, so I guess I'll start to sort of bring in some of the astrology to show you how interconnected and weaving together all of this is. So we just had Mercury station direct on June 3rd, okay, at 26 degrees of Taurus. It's square to Saturn when that happened, also conjunct to the North Node in Uranus. All right, let me break a little bit of that down for you. In the other videos, I went to even more details on this, but just to kind of give you that brief, what does that mean? That's square to Saturn. Okay, so it's Saturn is the system, structures, traditions, society, our way of doing things. And when you have planets that are retrograde, it's actually a very introspective period of time. It's time to really reflect. So with Mercury, it was reflecting of what in my words or the words around me or the words of others aren't really working, or they're not clear, or they're not really truthful. So what is the truth? Are there new ways of thinking? Are there new ways of just communicating and networking together? So Mercury is that communication telephone god. So it's been this period of reflecting, and now we're getting some clarity around structures in our society that really aren't working. So it's very much being highlighted with Mercury and all the aspects to it. Uranus is that planet of revolution. Uranus is the future, and the future is unknown. So we have this looking forward into the future. We don't know what it is, but it's got this very progressive energy to it. We're not here to do the same old ways of thinking, the same old ways of communicating. That's not working. So what can we do instead? So experimenting is an energy you might be really feeling around communication, siblings, early education. This is all Mercury stuff. And also with that North Node being there. So this is our collective future we're going into, is the North Node of Taurus. So we're going out of the frying pan of Scorpio, all that intensity, all that drama, we're going into Taurus. Slowness, spaciousness. This is resources. Who isn't right now feeling tight with resources, money? I mean, when I say it's collective, like it is on the menu for us collectively. Uranus, the sudden shocks and surprises, and I don't know about you, but it was really shocking for me to see what the price of rice is going to be. It was very shocking to hear about the wheat shortage that many countries are really going to be facing, the famine, because of the current Russia-Ukraine war that's going on. So there's a lot there's a lot, and it's not easy, and yet it's like, this is very intense. So in order to process it, we really need to kind of go into slowness, into Taurus wisdom. What makes you comfortable? What do you like? What do you find tasty? Like, so you can really slow down and process everything that's happening in our world. And that includes everything that's coming up with that Mercury stationing direct, square to Saturn, okay? And Saturn just also stationed retrograde. So this is very much, and that happened on, let me give you the 5th. Yeah, the 5th. Hello, Amy. My dearest sister. And in fact, so what I'm gonna do is I actually really following Dr. John Campbell on his YouTube channel, and he was the one that started kind of just talking about this grain shortage and this famine that it's really going to be hitting these countries hard. And it was very sobering. And it's this, we have this Saturn went retrograde on the 5th, okay? So this is about like, okay, these systems and structures are not working. What can I do, right? Like I can't go and move the mines out of the water so the Ukraine ships can get to where they're going to be. But what I can do is I can speak to that, and I can share that with you so we can witness it together, and we can do our part of really holding this higher intention. Even though we can't, again, physically make the grain get to where it needs to go, we still have sovereignty. Taurus. So let's reclaim that. Yeah, Melissa, she's commenting, the feeling of fasting and withdrawing goes with going into that mindfulness to see. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. And two, it'll look a little bit different for each of us, because Taurus is what you enjoy. Taurus enjoys what Taurus does because he just enjoys it. Like there's no reason. It's okay to just enjoy the thing that you enjoy. So it might be like, yeah, I actually don't want to eat a lot right now. I really want to fast. Or I want to be really quiet and still, or I want to cuddle with my fuzzy blanket and just cry out everything that I'm feeling. But it's giving yourself the space to do whatever it is you need to do to process through what is happening. Yeah, it's like you're going out of the claustrophobia of Scorpio and the intensity, and you're going into like the open fields, that cow eating the grass. That's the kind of feeling of Taurus that we are being invited to go into as a collective. And we're going to be feeling that energy for the next year. So this isn't going away. And I mean, we just had our eclipse cycle. We're still in that energy. And I wish I could say, hey, it's just going to keep, like it's just going to keep being okay and getting better. But I don't feel that. I don't believe that. It's not also what I'm seeing in the astrology. And that doesn't mean get super scared. But what it means is let's draw some awareness to this moment, how we are reacting, right? Like, you need to be present for yourself to cry, just cry. Like if you need for a moment to go into the future scenarios and what you're feeling coming up, it's deep and it's intense, and you're processing things that aren't even yours. Ancestral has been coming through huge. It's like I hopefully and currently for the rest of my life I'm not in a situation where I can't feed my kids, but I'm still feeling that energy deeply as if it was happening to me. Like my soul is feeling it, my soul is processing it, even though that is not my current Chrissy story. it's still in me, because it could be in my neighbor in this very building, and I'm feeling that and I'm processing it. Yeah, right? Crying out when I'm feeling all day, and sometimes we just need to do that and to give ourselves that break out of Scorpio and into that slowness of Taurus to do just that. And so what I'm going to do with my voice to share with you is, if you didn't know, for example, of the famine that's happening because of the wheat shortages, some of the places that are going to be most affected by this are the ones that are already really struggling. And this includes the children will be feeling this starvation first. So it's like, let's draw awareness and hold intention. And we can't physically make these things happen, and yet our energy is incredibly strong. And that's why I just want to voice this. Afghanistan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, Haiti, Nigeria, Pakistan. Wow, as I'm speaking these names, I just feel like I just want to cry. Yeah, our neighbors in other countries who, now, I don't follow the news. My energy doesn't do well when I do that, so I don't know if this is being spoken of, but in my gut I'm feeling like it's not being spoken of. This is not the story that's being told, so like, let's hold space for our neighbors in other countries who can look very different from us in very different life circumstances. Sudan, Syria, Yemen. So just wanted to take a moment to just acknowledge them. And that's an invitation for you as well. This is that Saturn retrograde energy. Systems and structures that aren't working. So what can we do instead? What can we in our own lives do? And it doesn't have to be much. It could just, again, be just holding space and speaking of the reality that others are facing. Because they are us. We're all one, we're all connected. So this is an invitation. So let's experiment. Let's find new ways of networking, new ways of being in community with each other. That's Saturn in Aquarius right now. Retrograde energy is going to be very, almost Uranian, very like revolutionary. Like, no, this shit's not working. Let's change it up. And we're going to be feeling this until October, I believe October 22nd. So be mindful in your life. Where is this coming up for you? How is this being reflected and mirrored back to you? And it will be different for each of us because all of our birth charts are different. So for you, like, it's going to be highlighted differently than it will be for me. Yeah, that's right, Melissa. And I want to say, Melissa, too, like, it's totally okay to have your moment of feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. Don't feel like you just got to sweep it under the rug, and I'm not saying that's what you're feeling, but I just want to really to give you permission to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. And you, like Amy's saying, you can hold both. You can feel like my life is really hard and cry your eyes out, or journal, or scream. I feel like we need to do a lot more screaming these days. Just letting all that energy out. And then when you do that, then you're really able to hold space for someone else because you've acknowledged yourself. And it is absolutely true that when you start giving for others, it helps pull you out of that circling drain of like, everything is this way, it's never going to change in my life. It pulls you out of that. But your own suffering is valid. It absolutely is. You're so welcome. And know too, you don't have to cry alone. You don't. Especially right now. This is very intense, that what we're going through, what we've been asked to really hold for the collective. It's not going to be easy. We are all in this together. And I'd be curious too, like Melissa, like I would even reflect back, because this Mercury is really highlighting that Scorpio lunar eclipse that we had last month. So is this bringing up some things for you? And it's true for everyone. If you're having deep, intense emotions coming up, that's your clue in that you need to go and look at that. You need to shine a light there if you want to heal it, if you want to clear it, if you want to make space and openness for what is coming, which you are calling in. But it is like this, oof, I gotta go and sit with that. This is big. This is deep. And it may not even be yours. So I'm just scanning my notes right here. Oh yes, Melissa, I hear you. Retreating into your own dark corner and dealing with it on your own. I have been feeling that energy too. And for me, it's also coming up as the feminine that needs healing. Especially as a mother, this may not reflect for you, but yeah, like Amy said, I think this might even be deeper, collective conditioning of we don't ask for help. We almost get in trouble if we ask for help, or we feel less than. You know, we have to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps, like that kind of energy. And certainly I felt that as a woman, as a mother, that I'm not allowed to ask for help. I have to do it all on my own, because again, it ties back into that worth, that self-worth conditioning, because I'm not worth enough, because what I do doesn't have value. So I have to do it all and hold it all on my own. But again, you're not alone. And you do have people like me in your life that you can reach out to hold that space with you. And we will, but it's our own, like, oh gosh, I had that feeling to go hide in the corner. What's that about? What's coming through for me about that I need to go look at? I feel the same for you. I do. So, we also have a lot of fiery energy. This like energy of like, it's time to have a fresh, brand new start. Let's go explore. Self-discovery is really on the menu. We have Jupiter in Aries. That just happened beginning of June. And we're going to be in this energy pretty much for another year. So again, it's this is going to be with us. And we had Mars also conjunct Jupiter. So there's been this expansion of exploring like our physical bodies, our passions, our desires, sparks that light us up. Aries is also about instincts, so you might be really feeling deep instincts in your body coming up that are asking to be looked at, to be healed, to be really claimed. Sexuality as well is a big one. And it's through this exploration that we're learning, or I would even say relearning, how to be leaders, how to be trailblazers in a new way. Right? This energy is playing into the love and light epidemic. Not wanting to bring others down. Yeah, even though we are all experiencing every emotion and they are equally valid. That's right. It really is like love, light, and shadow. We're not just going to get rid of the things that are uncomfortable because they're uncomfortable. Like, no, this is what we are here to experience. This is what human life is really about. We're human beings, not human doings. That was actually an oracle card that I pulled yesterday, and I read that and the sobs just kept coming because I could feel in my body, in my own genetics, how that has been denied to them just by trying to survive. And I also feel that's very much a collective message that we're deconditioning. Saturn retrograde, deconditioning expectations, obligations, things that were taught to you by your parents, society, your teachers, your bosses. Like, this is on the menu. What isn't working for you to be who you are and what you are here to do? We need to do this work so we can actually build this new future, this new earth that we are all creating together. And so, yeah, this Jupiter in Aries, go explore yourself. Go explore what you love. Like, you cannot go wrong exploring what you love. In fact, like, I would even say if you want to be successful in this new world, you need to do it differently. And that means you need to do it your way, because nobody else is gonna be like you. We have North Node conjunct Uranus right now, okay? Uranus is the future. We're doing things differently. We don't know what it is yet, but you gotta try. You gotta experiment and just get moving with that energy. And so I'll say as well, if you are familiar with your birth chart, pull it out, and you're going to want to see where 25 degrees of Aquarius falls in your chart, because that's where Saturn has stationed retrograde. So look between 20 and 29 degrees, and that will give you an idea of what house is being highlighted. If you have any planets in that house as well, that's up. That's up for you. And this is also going to be affecting the other fixed signs. So we have Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. So if you have any planets at that 20 to 29 degree angle, you might be feeling this. And again, it's really helpful to, when you know the energy that's coming, you can move through it a little bit easier. And again, Saturn is square to the moon's nodes, and it's going to be like that for the rest of this year as well. Like I said, these are really big energies that we have right now, that we are really being invited to work with. And so it's like we're gonna get this growing intensity between Saturn, the moon's nodes, between Uranus as well. We're going to have another exact square coming up in October between Saturn and Uranus. So that theme is that old versus the new, control versus freedom. So just know that this intensity is going to keep ramping up because it needs to. We need to. We need to get intense so we can break this down and make this new amazing earth happen, right? Yep, definitely check out your chart. You know, Melissa, yeah, I could do a brief explanation for you. And I also do offer birth chart readings, and so we can do a deeper dive to know what that even means for you. But yeah, and some people, astrology isn't their language, and that's also okay. My hope is just by hearing me talk about this, it goes into your subconscious. So if you're like, oh wow, I'm really having a rough time, you're like, oh wait, but Chrissy kind of mentioned something like that. So you don't need to know all the specifics, like I give them, but that's not what's important. What's important is for you just to have the energy of what's happening. Well, that's okay that you didn't know that. This is like a new thing that I really jumped forward in launching. I have a website with everything that I offer, and one of those is birth chart readings, which I dearly love doing because it gives people their own direct guidance of what their soul is here to do, what your intentions, your evolutionary intentions are for this life, and where those areas that you might have bumps and struggles, because you got to learn through them or consciously integrate. Yeah, it's not Amy's fluent language either. Oh, your sisters have theirs painted on the wall? That's such a great idea. I have like people's in my mind. When I look at charts enough, I just kind of know where everything is because it's my language. All right, so just this Saturn-Uranus square, we had this square running by exact degree in minutes all through 2021 and most of this year. We've kind of had a bit of a break during the summer months, but we're going to be coming back exact again. So again, this is you know, just to kind of reflect on what the heck was happening in 2021. It's like, okay, we will probably find a repeat of those things in our life and in the collective. It's Eric running back and forth. I'm so glad that that was helpful for him, Daphne. I really, really do. Yeah, Amy's got the earth wisdom, like the herb stuff. Like she just knows that. That's my learning area to at least have in my brain of easy understanding. So, but just so you know, like we're being guided to go into the new, into the future, and we don't know what that's going to look like. And it's not going to be easy or comfortable. It's almost that surrendering to what is. And now how can I do this better? How can I move through this energy better? And I will say too, Uranus has an 84 year cycle. So we are moving into a place of Uranus that Uranus hasn't been for 84 years. So it's gonna be new. It's going to be different. We're gonna be getting rid of the stale, repetitive, this restlessness and going into pioneering. So pay attention where that is for you in your life. We do have Pluto Retrograde right now, 28 degrees Capricorn, and In fact, I was just talking to Amy today of like, oh yeah, this is totally makes sense what's happening in your life. I know what your sun sign is. And it's this breaking down to break through. Just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Capricorn, which is our systems and structures, expectations, obligations, Saturn energy. What do we need to see that we don't want to see? Pluto is going to force us to see it. Pluto is a reactionary chamber forcing us to change. Doesn't matter what we want, and it's not going to be comfortable, but it's necessary. Just think about your life. That were the hardest parts for you. I'm like the moments that were defining for you probably weren't when things were really easy and smooth and flowing. It was probably when you were taken down at your knees, and through that intense experience, you were transformed into who you are now. Stronger too, I imagine. My kids. We also have a beautiful conjunction coming up on June 11th. Venus is going to be exactly conjunct Uranus in Taurus at 16 degrees that day. And she is the ruler of Taurus. Also conjunct that North Node. So this could be bringing in things that are coming out of the blue, sudden, which is Uranus, new relationships into your life. That's Venus. I would even say like it could be sudden resources, sudden wealth or exchange, money, property could happen around this time because that's all Venus. If you're in a relationship, especially if this is falling in your 5th or your 7th house, you and your partner might be even wanting more freedom in the relationship, more space. Like that could be something that you're feeling. Sorry, I'm distracted by my kid. Like, what are you doing on the patio? How close are you getting to the edge, right? Like, I mean, it's not like he's gonna fall off, but I'm a mother. I pay attention to those things. Yeah, I'd say that you're more elemental nature being too. Forest Bay, yeah. And so all this energy is going to be really bringing us to that June 14th super full moon, the super full moon in Sagittarius. Super full means it's closer to the earth. It's just like spitting off the balcony. I mean, there's nobody down there, but you know. Right. So that means it's going to be closer to the earth. So more force, more intensity. Okay, so we're really going to feel it with like our tides, tectonic activity could be very highlighted at that moment. And full moons are really shining a light. It's also, it was Eric, Amy. Oh, Lord. So, like, where in your life could this be shining a light for you? So this is a moment where you would go and you would look at your chart. What house is that falling into at 23 degrees Sagittarius? What house? Do you have any planets? For me, that's going to be highlighting my sun sign because I'm 29 degrees Sagittarius. So, like, for me, that will be highlighted. Yeah, no, it wasn't Kate. Kate's not a spitter. She's a little girl. She's a crier. We've been doing a lot of that today. Oh, are you gonna get, he's gonna get the ants. He's gonna spray the ants. Okay. Oh, anyway, so you'll see, like, if you can look at your chart, like, what's coming up for you. What's being highlighted. It could be an accumulation. It could also be something that you set intentions for at the new moon. So this is still part of that cycle. So what's really shining a light for you on your life? So with Sagittarius, you really want to take that higher bird's eye view. Oh, Eric. Really? Your little Aria was spraying ants today too. Like, maybe it's an ant spraying day. I don't know. So where in your life could you be asking to see something? And, sorry, I'm just kind of like refocusing. Sagittarius is, high octave Sagittarius is this understanding that there are many truths, that there are many cultures, many diversities, and they are all true. It's not just one way of doing things or one size fits all, okay? That is the more lower octave Sagittarius. One size fits all, only one way of being, there's only one religion, one way of thinking, like all that stuff, and like just being really like, this is the truth, like there is only one truth, okay? That is that lower octave Sagittarius. So we might see some of that. Especially since that's going to be a square to Neptune. There could be a lot of illusions and delusions that we are seeing that a light might be shining on. That could be coming up. So again, just to kind of really have that awareness of that bird's eye view perspective and not getting stuck in that one size fits all mentality. We need to really consciously integrate into integrating Neptune, which again, it could be that, you know, like, is this real or is this not real? Really looking at that and sitting with it. And I would even say is coming to your own conclusions and not even what others are telling you to think or do, but just you having that wisdom, your truth. What does it mean for you? And then also, like, can you hold space for other people having their truths that are different and it still being okay? So yeah, like holding that paradox. Oh gosh. Ants, look at all this ant. We really need to look up, like, anybody know what spirit guide wisdom is for ants? I've been meaning to look for a couple weeks and I haven't done it yet. Yes, if you meditate on this, Melissa, let us know. Let us know what comes up to you. Please do. And I will say too, yeah, you are very connected to that earth spirit energy, the earth animals. Yes, Eric?
Mama, 20 minutes is
What about?
we go walk.
In 20 minutes? Yes, I can do that. I'm wrapping up and then I can take you on a walk.
Take a walk.
Okay.
First walk.
I just have to make sure he doesn't come into camera view for obvious reasons, for those of you who know him. And I will say too, this is something that Amy and I have really been talking about since May. Yeah, May is when I went to the Redwoods. Is we've Black Moon Lilith. I know, right? It's very beautiful. It's like I waited a really long time to hear some of these beautiful words, and it's just magic. It's magic. And to be fair too, I'm also hearing words that are not spoken. Yes, sweetie?
Sweetie.
Yes,
Where is
my
that?
sweetie.
Sweetie,
You are, but this
sweetie.
one's not.
Sweetie.
Yes, she's my sweetie. Oh my
Tell
gosh, she's
your
so
head.
funny. These kids.
Tell your head.
Okay, you want
Tell
me to
your head.
tell my head? You tell me in my head. Yes, you speak to me all the time in my head, Eric. So Black Moon Lilith energy. Lilith, very strong. She's gonna be very highlighted at this full moon. It probably doesn't surprise you. I know, sweetie, right? Probably doesn't surprise you. Those of you who know her story in mythology, Jewish mythology, she was the first wife of Adam, and she was tossed out of the Garden of Eden when she would not submit. I know, right? Tell you in your head, yes, he does. He really does. And then I was repeating Eric, and I didn't understand what he was talking about, and then he told me in my head. I was like, oh, you're telling me in my head, like, and you're telling me in my head. Got it. I'm picking up, kid. It's taken me a minute, but I'm figuring it out. So, Lilith doesn't have a lot of good energy tied to her. Certainly has been told and passed down from these male-dominated religions that mythology isn't good. So she's a very primordial energy. This raw, deep, feminine, like dark, fierce, like doesn't pull any punches kind of energy. These guys are so funny. They come into my videos and I can feel it's for a reason. It also makes it just hard for me to like focus and do my thing. Surrender to what is, right? So this is very uncompromising feminine energy. Hey, Kate, if you're gonna be in here too, like you do need to be quiet so people can hear me. Okay, like if you start playing with him, you can get kind of loud. Okay. Right, she was banished to the dark for her resistance because she said no. You know, and this like, well, now you give birth to demons because you're a bad woman. And it's like that feminine power is coming back and it's in the field, like very strongly. So now it's like, let's direct that energy. Where is it gonna go? Where is it taking us? So this is happening at 1 degree of Cancer. Guys, 1 degree of Cancer. Okay. Oh, my necklace. Thank you. This is Tanzanite, and then this is blue lace agate. This is actually a piece that very much reminds me of my grandma. You guys are just thinking that. And I made this one because it's all about being creative and finding a new way. And it was a beautiful gift that actually Athena gave to me. It's a blue lace agate, Amy. When my grandma had a really hard fall when she was still alive, and I was really processing what happened, Athena had actually done a crystal reading for me, and this was what she picked, which I was actually wearing it. So it's a very like a reminder of finding the other way, finding a new way. And so that's really going to be in the energy for all of us. How can we find a new way? Oh, and it's 444. I just looked up. Oh, I love it when synchronicities happen like that.
Wow.
So right now, deepest, darkest parts of society are really shining a light on it. Okay, and we've got Jupiter is going to be expanding that energy. So really feeling that Lilith primal force coming forward. This is also very similar to Eris, who's currently in Aries. Okay, and again, like just know that like there's this weaving of astrology energies. Should I really tag you at 444? Oh my gosh, that's so great. So this is a period when we're going to be feeling this rising energy in ourselves, and in the collective. And I feel, I love that I caught it. This is so crazy. I love this. I love this world. So I feel like it's going to get really strong, very highlighted. I don't think it's going to be easy energy. It doesn't feel easy energy to move through, because it feels like there's a lot of grief in there. That's what I'm feeling energetically.
Mommy, what is this thingy?
I don't know. It's like a squishy ball.
Okay, it's special to me. Maybe I'll read this.
Okay. Can you close the door?
Why?
So I can do my thing. The synchronicities are wild. Okay, thank you. Take the fish. They are wild. So just like heads up, this energy is coming. This energy is not playing around. It's fierce. It's not gonna be stomped out kind of energy. This is energy, this feminine, dark, fierce feminine energy that's really tired of being unseen and unheard. So wherever it's reflected in your life, if this shows up, I invite you to see it. I invite you to hear it and to sit with it. To sit in what is uncomfortable. To be that sacred witness. And I feel that we might all be really asked to do that, to hold that energy of being a lighthouse, and to hold that space as a witness. Feels very important. And my throat just kind of got funny right there. Yeah. And so like start to really like ask and hold that space of this energy, like where can this like be guided, okay? Where can we focus this primordial force to make things better? More equal, more justice, okay? Sagittarius is also very much about equality and justice, truth. It's about natural law and not man-made law. So where is this going to come up for you? And just, again, this is just so you can ride that wave a little bit easier. I don't think we're going to be able to miss it. I feel like we're going to really see it. Also, too, you might feel a repeat. So around June 18th, Venus is going to be in Taurus, and she'll be square to Saturn, who's still in Aquarius. So during the Venus retrograde that we had, so kind of fall time, and then also like December into like January, you might have a repeat of anything that you were working through. Might be coming up again. If it does, it probably won't be as intense, but it'll just kind of be like a review, reflection. What did you learn? Did you make the choices that were the right ones? Or do we need to make adjustments? Like that kind of energy was coming through. Have you learned the lesson? And I also just want to say, like, I know there's lots of like really hard energy, a lot of change, kind of no bullshit, breaking down kind of energy with Uranus and Saturn, the north and south node, like it's not easy energy. But know too, like there's a lot of other Kuiper belt objects that are coming through, and then it's really it's like we have the darkness, we have the hardness and the intensity, but also know that there's so much being reflected in this new earth, this new creation. Like it's not just the one doom and gloom. It's like, no, no, no. You go through that, and this is what's possible on the other side of it. So just be very mindful during this few weeks, certainly into this full moon, of what's being revealed for you in your life. What is coming to you from your unconscious, your shadows. Because again, when you clear that, when you witness it, you see it, you will make space for all the new and the greatness that's coming in. It's not just going to be hard. It'll be great on the other side of it. So I hope that was helpful. I'm also being reminded that I wanted, where did it go? I don't know where it went. My kids were on the bed too, so what did they do? All right. I don't know where it went. I was gonna do for the Goddess Oracle deck, but I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened to it. So, obviously not that one. I'm just trying to think what else I should do instead. Okay, I'm gonna do, I think I heard you, Amy. I'm gonna go grab Sacred Rebels. It feels like a time for that, so give me half a second. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. I have no idea where it went. I mean, I'm pretty... That back. I'm pretty sure I grabbed it. And now I don't know where it went. Oh well. Oh. Alright, so Sacred Rebel Oracle. Because I don't know about you, but this is really a time period to be a rebel. To go do your thing. I know it'll pop back up. It will. It's like, okay, well, I got plenty of other decks to choose from. You do this all the time, too. And the kids are back. Or Erica's back. Alright, so I actually already have a circle open. I like to do that when I do astrology because sometimes other things in astrology come through in my words and my channeling. So let's have this card guide us for this first week of June until I come back from Yellowstone, and I can offer this again. It'll be gone until the end of, pretty much the end of the month. So let's have this card for all of us who are watching and all who will watch later, for highest interest of us and all concerned. What message to guide us? Bring it into form. I know, Yellowstone. Oh my, it's gonna be magic. I can feel it. It may not be easy magic. Sean is coming with us for the first week, and then my mother is gonna come. He's gonna come home, and then my mom is gonna come. So I think there will definitely be stretching involved. You've never pulled this this card. Oh my gosh, this card feels so perfect just for all that Saturn energy that I was telling you about. This card, the meaning is it's time to take those steps forward. Whatever it is in your life that you've been wanting to create, that you've been dreaming, projects, stories, paintings that call on your soul, that you've wanted to do. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time to start taking those first few steps and to make it into form. Again, that's that Saturn energy, right? We have all these Saturn squares to like a whole bunch of stuff, okay? And that means that it's not going to be easy, but if we do the work, it will be long lasting. Yeah, that is the energy of right now. It's bring it into form. Do it. Do the thing that's different. Do the thing that's different, the thing that's you, and only you. Even if you are terrified to take that step, to put that paintbrush onto your canvas, do it anyway. And do it in the way that only you can. That's what we're all being asked to do, is just take one step and take another. And I'm just hearing as well in my mind, you take one step and the universe is going to take 10 steps towards you. I'm also hearing you may not see those steps being reflected back to you from the universe. Like, you may not see it, but hold the faith that it is happening. There is a lot shifting to meet you where you are and where you are going. You just can't see it. So hold that faith. If you have a hard time holding that faith, that's when you reach out and you ask for someone to hold that space for you. Because we are human, and this is a really freaking hard time on this planet right now. And I don't feel like it's going to get easier or comfortable just yet. And, okay, reach out for help. Yes, this is the card also that was on the bottom. Number 33. Heaven sent. So I told you, and I didn't realize I told you until I just said this, you take that one step forward, the universe is going to take 10 steps to you. This card is like a wild card. It's energizing this energy. So whatever it is that you are creating, the universe is going to meet you. And it's going to meet you in a big, amazing way. So, synchronicities, I think we've talked a little bit about that today. Be very mindful of synchronicities. And when you see them and they come up, give a little bit of gratitude and acknowledgement for them. And thank the universe. Thank God. Thank whatever you believe in, because that gratitude is just going to expand this energy even more. Like, this is the time to do the new thing. This is the time to build what you are building and make it. We're anchoring it into this world. We're making it into form. Okay, we're getting out of the dreams. That was the whole Neptune and Jupiter. Yes, Neptune and Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. I just wanted to double check in my mind. That happened March, April, I'm sorry, like time is getting really weird for me, but we had this energy of like, dream big the way you've never dreamed before, okay? But now we are moving into this energy of build it. Make it real. It's not about just dreaming. We're creating a new earth here, and you're not doing it alone. You're not doing it alone. Okay. So, my little ones, well, one of them is telling me it's time to take them on a walk. Get out that energy. So it was so wonderful being here with you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up. I will be doing a separate video that's really going to focus on parents and kids, to how to move through this astrology and this energy that's more related for your life as a parent, you know, like me. So yeah, so please check out my YouTube channel, Chrissy Whistler. Go to my website, you like and subscribe, because that really helps me get this message and everything that I'm doing and offering out to more people. But I appreciate you all so very, very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you're in my Facebook group, Intuitive Parent Evolution, I'm going to be doing a collective card reading there for the week. I think sometime today. I don't know. This day's getting weird. Anyway, thank you all so much. Thank you, Melissa, Daphne, Amy. Appreciate you. That's right. Bye, Kate and Eric.
I got it.
Wild animals. See the energy? It's like, oh, super chill. And then it's like, whoosh. All right. I gotta go not destroy the house. I will see you guys later. You're gonna have plenty of videos coming up while I'm gone though, but then I will catch you live when I'm back. I'll talk to you later. Bye.